Hey, what's going on, guys? I thought I'd do a video on the Jag. It hasn't been in many videos. I think have it on one or two, but we're gonna be taking this bad boy to Jasper over the weekend, and I shined it all up. I detailed it just a bit, and I thought I'd go over. It's a perfect opportunity to go over the things that so far we love and we hate about it. Obviously, we absolutely love the SUV. I'm thinking of even buying one for myself so I could be in one on a daily basis. Probably won't happen, but I definitely would consider the idea. There are probably a handful of things. I was thinking about making a top 10 hate video, but I honestly don't think I could come up with 10 things that I hate or dislike about the Jag. So without further ado, all right, so let's start with the very first thing that we absolutely love about the SUV. This is one of the reasons why we bought this over an AMG, a Porsche Macan, and well, those were the other two contenders we were gonna buy. So the main reasons is the look. The side profile of this thing is just bar none. Of course, this is all subjective. It's our opinion, but we think this is the best looking SUV. If you go to the back, those taillights are like no other taillights on the market for an SUV. This one does have the blackout package, so everything is blacked out. The side garnish and the fender vent is all black. Everything's black. The front grille. So just like the rear end being very distinctive, the front is very distinctive. This is a Model S, obviously, so the grills are different than all the other models. The front end just looks mean. And again, that's a major contributor to why my wife and I love this thing. First time we ever laid eyes on one of these was at the Jag and Land Rover event in Edmonton, and we wanted one ever since. So the reasons why we were drawn to it initially is the reasons why we purchased it. These lights are just fantastic. I think they look really good paired with the black grille. Everything about this SUV looks awesome, on point. Now stepping into the SUV, everything is really, really nice. Some people complain about the hard touch on their models. The S, at least our S, doesn't have the hard touch. We have leather everywhere, which is very soft. So that isn't a complaint for us. Even up here, it's a softer, higher grade material than you would find in, most domestic vehicles. The seats fold flat for the most part, which has already proved itself to be very, very handy for us. The one thing that I don't like, but every vehicle probably will have it, is the leather is very, very easy to imprint. Like just from this strap, just from the seat being on its own weight, has caused the leather to indent. I really, really enjoy the plastic here. This plastic has proved itself to be, useful already, taking the tires in and out of this thing. This is handy because you're not gonna muck up the metal underneath it, so that's awesome. And back here, your passengers can be greeted with their own heated, controlled seats. Many USB chargers, everything. I'll have to keep that in mind because we're going on a road trip, so that'll be nice. Also, rear seats go back and forward, so that's really nice. All right, so as we climb into the cab, driver's position. So there we go. Start and stop is beating like a heartbeat. That's pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna start this because we do plan on taking this out right now. So, as far as the display goes, I do enjoy the display a lot. I find that you can customize it basically any which way you want. It can be a little confusing, but again, you do get used to that. I love the infotainment screen here, 10.2 inch screen I believe this one is, and this is a 12.2 inch screen. And this one can go full nav mode. I personally don't like that. but again, it's customizable. So another complaint people have is that this is hard touch. Again, for us, we do have the leather stitched, and it's a lot better in my opinion. The interior is phenomenal. The build quality in everything in this vehicle is top notch. Everything is very, very nice material. There's no crazy rattles, nothing like that. So as you can see behind me and above, we got the panoramic sunroof. I know that is an option in other countries. I'm not sure if it's an option in Canada. We haven't seen one that doesn't come with it yet, but it is certainly nice to have. It does have a sunshade that can go all the way forward and block out all the sun if you need it and if it's bothering you, which I do find sometimes it does bother us, so we end up shutting it. So now I'm going to take you to the most important position, which is the driver position. This is a very, very beautiful spot to be, especially when you're on long road trips, winding mountains. Obviously the performance is there. It is a 0 to 60 in 5 seconds and a quarter mile time of mid 13. It's 380 horsepower, V6 supercharged, packed full of performance as far as an SUV goes. It's not the fastest out there, don't get me wrong, but I think it's one of the most well-rounded packages, if you will, and that's what we found when we test drove all of the SUVs. So take a look of the cabin. It's very nice, hand-stitched leather materials. A lot of people complain that it's hard. Ours, the S model, I can't speak to any other model, but the S does come with leather hand-stitched interior. Like I said, I have seen them before where it's just a plastic, and I can kind of see why that would bother somebody. All right, so one last thing for the macro level of what we love about this thing. I'm not going to get into much detail on that end for this video, but here is the sound clip. See, how can you even contend with that? That sounded just amazing. Now I gotta get onto the video, part of the video, what I don't like about this thing. So, I'll start with this. So, you can fit a lot in the back of this thing, and I've done it already. So that's a plus. The seats go down fast, boom, flat, that's a plus. The thing I don't like about it though, is how easy it can scratch, and that is a scratch just on the inside plastic alone. Like, you have to paint that to get rid of it, and I don't know what would have caused that because nothing touches right there. The only thing that does is the weather stripping or this plastic here, so there's contact there at some point. So I don't really like that. I know I'm nitpicking, but again, there's not a lot of stuff on this thing that we don't like. Another thing that I don't like is sometimes if you try to open the hatch and open it yourself, the electronic assist stops working, and the trunk, it feels like it's 500 pounds and you gotta really lift it up yourself. So I don't really like that. I wish that you could assist the assist and just lift it up and it would just go faster, because if you're running to the car because it's raining out or something, which we were doing, we touch this, well, now you gotta sit there in the rain and wait for the hatch to lift up. So that's, you know, I guess would be on the negative list for us. All right, so the next thing that we don't really like about this thing is the engine can be noisy. It's not really noisy right now, but when you first start this thing up, you can hear a really loud tick. And if you look online, it's very, very common. And it's the direct port injection, I do believe, which is, or it's, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's normal to this specific engine. I can't remember if it's the direct port injection or if it's external pump that's up there. But you can easily Google that. Nonetheless, it's noisy when you first start it up. It kind of startled me, but it's nothing to worry about. Now, back in the cabin. All right, so things we don't like. Well, we do not like this plastic. In the sunshine, I don't know why Jag would do this without putting a protector on here, because right when we purchased this, I thought to myself, oh, this is going to scratch really easy. And does it ever? So right now you can't really see it. It looks fine. When we're driving in the sun, it's nothing but scratches. So this thing only has 25,000 kilometers on it, and this is already scratched to hell. That's just from people not using the right product, which, I mean, who will? The regular consumer is just going to wipe it down with a microfiber and think nothing of it, when really you're scratching the crap out of it, which is what happened to ours. Not from me, but from the previous owner with only 20,000 K or whatever. So, moving on to the second thing we don't like. So as you can see here, the AC is on, which is good. You got fan controls. But what's really stupid is you can't turn it off from here. You literally have to go into, well, there's the heated seats. You have to go into, you have to press this button here, which brings you to the screen, and then you have to turn it off from here. So I really, really, really would enjoy a button here that can just go off. Or you could turn the fan all the way off, which essentially would turn it off. So that's a major thing me and my wife don't like about this thing. Second thing is we love the screen. We love, you know, how everything works, but you can see the lag. There is lag in between everything. Well, not so much. Well, now it's okay. But when you initially go into music, there's lag. When you put in your Bluetooth, there's lag. The system itself is awesome. There is no Android or Apple CarPlay. All right, going on to the third thing so far for our truck is we were driving one time and the volume was not working like this. We would turn it up, we would play around with it, we would get no volume. In this case, it's because we're on satellite radio and we're in my garage, so it's not getting signal, which is normal. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But we were driving and we were turning it up and nothing was happening. So my wife, sitting in the passenger seat while I was driving, was looking it up. And I guess it's a problem that all JAGs have with their infotainment system, is that you'll be driving along and all of a sudden you'll get no audio. And it can last up to 3 hours. No one really knows why on the forums, but it happens. So I guess you just gotta wait. That's just the way it is. All right, going on to the last significant thing about this thing that we do not like. I brought it up to the wife and now it bothers her. She didn't even really notice it before, but I'm gonna show you and then it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. So you can see how that door gap is perfect, right? Well, if you go to the driver's side door gap, it sits about 1/4 of an inch lower and the gap is about 1/4 of an inch larger. I personally don't know why Jag could fix that to make it more like the passenger side, but that seems like a pretty easy issue that they could fix. And that's just, every time I drive this thing, my eye is going over here and looking at this. And I went through it like a fine comb and I couldn't find anything wrong with the door. It's properly mounted, and all the other ones have it too. So if you look up F-Paces on YouTube, you'll find that they have this exact same issue. All right, everybody, that concludes the video. I do plan on getting more seat time in this thing with a camera strap behind me. It truly does feel like a sports car in SUV form. Again, that coupled with the looks is really what sold us on the F-Pace S. I can't speak to any other models. We probably obviously wouldn't have went with anything else other than this one because of the performance. My wife says she can't go back to anything that is slow, quote unquote. And this definitely is not slow. Again, it is it's a pretty well performing SUV and it offers the total package. It may not have this, it may not have that. AMG might be better in this respect, Porsche, whatever. But overall, this is the vehicle that we chose and we do not regret our decision. So as always, I hope you guys somewhat enjoyed the video. If you did, if you do like the content, please check out other videos on my channel. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. All right, peace guys.